Last night I had a little trouble falling asleep. I think what I needed was a good bedtime story. So I turned to Reddit, just cruising around, perusing, see if I could find anything that'd give me the yawns and help me go night night. But I found something extraordinary. Something so stimulating I stopped any attempt at going to sleep, and I just sat there bewildered by what I had just read. For at least 40 minutes, I just sat in silence, truly stunned, like a child who had just watched his first episode of Chris Angel's Mind Freak. My brain was blown out my ass. I couldn't imagine a world where this was real, but all of the evidence pointed to it being a genuinely true story. I did eventually hit the hay, and now, a full 9 hours later, I'm still thinking about this. So, I figured, why not share it with all of you? Perhaps this will have a profound effect on your life, or maybe it'll do something to help motivate you to not be like the guy in this story. It's a series of text messages between a man and a woman. And that's all I'll tell you for now. I don't want to get in any spoilers. I want you to come into this as unsuspecting as possible. Let's dive in. Previously on Dragon Ball Z, the two people in this text conversation were close friends for about 9 years. The Reddit poster is the woman in this story, and her male friend here had recently professed his love for her in a pretty creepy way. The feeling wasn't mutual, so it led to a bit of a disconnect between the two of them, and in an act of desperation, the male friend calls in the Cringe artillery and starts bombarding her with memes, to which she finally responds, "Hey, I appreciate the memes." Real quick, I'd like to come in here with a PSA. I recognize that in the current climate of things, there's a lot of people that have lived their entire lives online without any actual social interaction, so I want this to be a teachable moment. Don't send memes as some kind of last-ditch Hail Mary. Like, if you let something rip and it's not reciprocated, spamming memes isn't going to salvage the situation, it's only going to make it worse and even weirder. Her saying, "I appreciate the memes," is just a lie. No one's ever going to say that. Those words have probably not left a human being's mouth ever. "Ah, good morrow, sailor. I really appreciate the exquisite memes you've shared with me today. I was a little perturbed with our last conversation, but now that you've sent 1,000 memes, I see you've got a good heart. Thank you for this." And I'm speaking from experience here. I'm very knowledgeable in this field. I'm the authority on this matter. I've told this story before, but I'll just briefly repeat it. The very first girl I was ever flirting with and exchanging text messages with was back in high school, and she did not feel the same way about me as I did her. And in my weakest moments, I turned to the dark side and consulted the Sith Lords, and was advised to try and maybe send goofy memes and ASCII art, because that was big back in the day. So I did. And guess what? It didn't fucking solve anything. It just made it even worse. I know how uncomfortable that must have been for her. So yeah, that is not the right play, to just start spamming memes and shit. But anyway, she continues the message by saying that she's only ever thought of him as a close friend and never really viewed him in a romantic way. So when he professed her love, it made things a little weird. They grew distant, they grew a bit hostile, but she thinks they can be friends again just as long as it's very clear that there is no romantic feelings in this relationship. She's just laying down the brass tacks and making things very clear, to which he responds, "I certainly had my head on backwards, but as my friend, I really think you're fucking adorable, and every trip I've ever taken with you is so fucking precious. I've heard of a Japanese word called shibumi, and it's basically authority without dominance. Call me a simp, but I really think you have that." Code red, he's not taking no for an answer. Jinkies, we're going too deep. He just busted out shibumi. Jesus Christ, we're in the in-game now. Lord help us. He continues to spaghetti dump here for the novel that he's writing her. There's steam coming off of the touchscreen pad as he's writing. The most important takeaway here is a very specific line, a buzzword that gets dropped that I think is very important that we highlight. He says, "Sometimes it feels like my chivalrous interest with you is underappreciated or just unappreciated sometimes." The reason I point that out is because I'm pretty confident that the word chivalry is used exclusively by creeps. I don't think there's been a documented case of a normal person saying chivalry, especially not in this context. It's just like an immediate red flag word to drop, especially when saying that my chivalrous interest is underappreciated, it's not valued enough. It's just some certified weirdo Redditor energy. Like tipping the hat, "M'lady, it's no problem, you're welcome for holding the door open for you. Chivalry isn't dead, am I right?" I'm the perfect example. No, of course, I'm just kidding. I jest. Chivalry can't die, because to die, it would imply that it was ever alive in the first place. Only a living thing can experience death, and chivalry is not a living thing. It's an idea, more of a social code, per se. He continues on, and then eventually tells her that she should like one of them so he doesn't feel crazy, to which she says, "You're not crazy, I just need some time to think." Which I think is a perfectly reasonable response to all of this, but he gives her no time to think and immediately just comes back to, "Please, please, let me find favor in your eyes." I'm assuming he heard that in some kind of like indie song at some point, so he tried to throw that in here to see if it'd work. So he's going full-blown Robert Frost now, even then drops a picture saying, "Daydream with me," and it's like the sun rising. So it's getting very emotional in here. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because it's him once again just begging for any kind of reciprocation, to which she just keeps saying she just needs some time to process all of this. But he's extremely impatient. His foot is fully on the gas and there's no turning back now. He is full throttle invested in all of this. He's using every possible cliche line imaginable, but he's not finding any favor in her eyes. It just keeps going. "You're valid, never really heard the extent of why I'm your friend," so now he's like interrogating her. "Why am I your buddy? Why am I your pal, huh? Tell me. I could tell you all day why you're my friend. Your voice is fucking music. I think you're brilliant. Just a brilliant person to be around. Really wish I could hug you. Fuck, this hurts." And again, she reiterates, "I need time to think. I will reach out when I'm ready." And now we've finally gotten past the introduction here and we're entering the climax. Welcome to the wacky zone. He once again gives her no time to like reach out or process any of this. He reaches out pretty soon after everything, only a couple of days, and says, "So like, is there any chance as your friend I could send you something explicit?" She says, "What do you mean?" And then he goes, "NSFW," which I'm sure all of you know what that means, but I'll break it down anyway. Not safe for work. Of course, she wasn't expecting this curveball, so she says, "Are you trying to make a joke right now?" And then he goes, "No, kind of a gamble." I will say this is a historic moment. You are witnessing the worst gamble in history. Congratulations, we all got to be a part of this. This is, by far, the absolute worst possible fucking gamble you could ever make. This is like betting 100% of your life savings on me getting taller. Like, what the fuck are you, like, I don't understand how you think an out-of-nowhere nudie is going to somehow win her over and, like, somehow solve all of these problems. I just can't even understand that mindset, really. It just doesn't compute. Like, okay, I tried all of the lovey-dovey, really mushy-gushy stuff with the favor in your eyes, your voice is like magic or music. It didn't work. So let's try something a little more primal. Wiener. What about penis? Eureka! This might be the answer. Let's try it. She's once again just trying to make sure she fully understands the lunacy going on here, so she says, "Are you asking me if you can send me something sexually explicit? Respectfully." What a gentleman. A fedora tip to you, my gentle sir. That is sophisticated. Very respectful. "M'lady, doth thou wish to gaze upon my meat?" And then he sends her a dick pic with his pinky out while holding it. An incredibly interesting play here, as if somehow his cock was going to hypnotize her and make her fall in love with him. So she eventually responds by pointing out how weird this whole interaction has become. She still only ever viewed them as friends and will only ever view him as a friend, and that she's very disappointed that he can't even respect that she wants some time to herself to process this entire weird interaction. She also drops a bombshell at the end by mentioning that she's currently in a relationship, so that was a big plot twist. This goober is doing all of this to a girl who is not interested and also in a relationship. The odds couldn't be more against him. Now, she used a word at the end that's about to change the entire course of this interaction. She said, "It sucked when you went all incel on me towards the end." That word, I had a big voice crack there, that's how powerful that word is. That one word ruffled this guy's feathers so much. You're about to see a full-blown ballistic breakdown from it. I respect that. Also, if I'm an incel, you're toxic, so let's not name call. She's toxic because she doesn't want to fuck him. Why is that even in your argument, that I can't get someone? I can. You choose not to. That's fair, but you didn't get to call me an incel because you decline. You go out of your way to say it. Why is that? Label me as anything else, like, for real. It's foolish for you to argue something like that. She gets taken off guard here, saying like, hey, whoa, pump the brakes, Buster. I didn't mean to offend you. She says, I never said you couldn't get someone. What do you mean? She never said that. Like, he is now just projecting some insecurities and reading between the lines on shit that doesn't exist. She just said his behavior was that of like an incel or something. And he keeps going. You should know I'm anything but a little dick incel, so out of here with that shit. Again, she never even pointed out your penis or anything. She didn't call it small. Like, where is this coming from? He's fighting ghosts. I'm not even gonna pretend that's valid. You're with a fucking beta cuck to begin with. Maybe that's your type and maybe that's why we aren't together. Have fun with that. The mask has come off. He is unchained, unhinged, and unhappy. Your boyfriend's a beta cuck loser. That's the only reason you and I aren't together, because that's what you're into, beta cucks. You couldn't handle an alpha male testosterone titan like me, a real man who cries while he texts. She then goes on to say, like, look, if you find me to be toxic and all of this awful stuff, like, okay, then, you know, you shouldn't be upset that we're not close anymore. And to this big message, he just responds by saying, I'll see you in hell. And then she says r/nice guys, which this very much is an r/nice guys moment. You know, keep in mind, this is still only a couple days after the whole poetic, allow me to find favor in your eyes, miss. Your voice is music, sweet music. And now it's, what an excellent take on a 7-year waste of my fucking time. To which she responds, so you're just waiting around until I'd eventually date you? That's on you, man. She's absolutely right. That is entirely on you. This dude played the long game, almost an entire decade of pretending to be her friend in the hopes that eventually you'll get to fuck her. I guess was the plan. That is a long commitment to a deep cover operation to stay in disguise, faking friendship, hoping that eventually you'll be able to have sex with her. And then he says, how was I supposed to know you're only interested in half men? I've never even seen that term used before. This guy's pulling all kinds of Insano-style phrases out of his ass now. I spent 7 years just waiting for you to notice the difference, but I guess I bet on the wrong fucking horse. This goober spent 7 years pretending to be her friend, hoping that somehow she'd fall in love with him? This is craziness. This is a longer time spent undercover than Rob Lucci and the gang during the Water 7 arc of One Piece. Like, this is outrageous how long he committed to this ridiculous, diabolical plan. And now he's just full anime villain mode. I'm over you. That's why I asked if you needed a visual definition of the word endowed, because I bet you're never going to get that with the life you choose to live without me. Motherfucker, I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. We have to pause here for a moment. Wow. I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. That is one of the most powerful sentences I've ever had the pleasure of reading. What does that even mean? That's not even possible. How could you have grown your penis for her? Was there no dick there to begin with, and then you just started, planting the seeds and then taking care of it like summertime gardening? Like, what does that mean, you grew it for her? Is it a laboratory experiment like the Cybermen? Like, I don't understand. It's just such a bafflingly amazing sentence. She's also stunned, saying, I refuse to believe that these messages aren't satire. And then that sets him off even further. This entire relationship is satire. A joke. Your interest in men is a joke. The wambulance is coming in hot. He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward, we're all Squidward. This whole relationship satire, it's all a joke, you're a joke. Fuck you. My interest in you is a joke. This is the first time I wanted to show someone my dick because I hate them. Fucking brilliant. r/nice guys, these nuts. She waits a while and then says, I think enough time has passed and I just genuinely want to know if you've had any remorse for the shit you said to me or if you truly believe it was all valid. And then he responds 7 hours later saying, let's find out if you're still seeing the Hat Man first. I don't know what that means, but then he comes back 2 hours later and said, "I'm over you. You're wasting your time." So he's trying to flip this around on her like, you missed your opportunity with the golden goose. You missed your opportunity with the alpha. I've moved on, you harpy. I don't need you anymore, harlot. Listen, I've matured a lot. You clearly haven't. So you're wasting your time trying to talk to me now. You had your chance. You blew it. I'm sure you're kicking yourself now for this, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. But then just to finish it off with the cherry on top, he quotes from before where he was offering to show her his wiener and says, "I still mean this if you need clarification." And then comes back and says, "Except don't even bother asking for nudes. I have a girlfriend." Okay. I mean, this is quite the ride. What an adventure. She eventually just says, what's wrong with you? We were friends for almost a decade. And then you go into this shit. Which is a reasonable response. Like, how did this happen? We have been friends for like 10 years. We've known each other for so long. Where did this come from? It is crazy. This whole situation was wild. And also, I'm calling fiddlesticks on that last statement from him. I don't believe he has a girlfriend. If we go back to like chapter 7 of this meltdown, he said that she was the first girl he wanted to show his penis to. So, I'm under the impression he's a virgin. And I don't think enough time has passed between those messages and these that he would not only lose his virginity, but then also have a girlfriend, especially given all of the behavior we're seeing exhibited here. So, I think he lied about that. That was probably just once again some kind of Hail Mary to make her jealous. Like, hey, listen, Toots. Got a girlfriend. Stay off of me. Can't send you nudes anymore. You blew it. Nope, can't do it. Sorry. That's on you. Yeah, you'll regret this for the rest of your life, clearly. Sorry. Have a girlfriend. Even though it's most likely a lie. But yeah, that's all there is to the story here. Overall, I think we can all agree that nice guys really do finish last. It is insulting that these two didn't end up getting married. This guy is a real catch, and it's just a shame to see that it didn't pan out. But yeah, overall, dropping the sarcasm, I actually feel really bad for the woman in this situation here. This is someone who was a close friend to her for a fucking decade, only to then find out that that close friend was actually just a complete piece of shit, loser, degenerate, who was only being her friend, trying to have sex with her down the line. I can't even imagine that kind of betrayal. That must have been fucking awful. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share this because I've been thinking about it like all day. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. It's been a little while since I've gone over some text messages, and I still giggle at them to myself from time to time, but there hasn't been anything truly interesting that's come across my desk until today. This one gave me a big old hoot and a holler here as it aims to tackle the age-old question, how long should you wait after connecting with a human being to graduate from text messages to phone calls? For this one brave soul, that was about an hour. And the results were not optimal, to say the least. This fairy tale starts the way that all the good ones do. They matched on a dating app about an hour ago, and then he reaches out saying hello, and then tries to call them. She responds by saying, "Hey, smiley face, I'm watching a movie with my parents right now. I'll be able to call in a bit. I'm sorry." She seems super sweet, giving an explanation and even offering an apology for not being able to hop on the hotline right away. And it's not like she owed him an explanation or an apology, it was just a nice gesture. It's a very awful idea to try and call someone that you just met an hour ago. You only became aware of each other's existence like less than 60 minutes ago. He tries to grit his teeth and bear it, but the pain is too much. He says, "Oh, okay." And it comes across pretty sad. I don't know if he actually was sad here, but it seems to me like I can feel him looking down at the ground while he types that and like kicking some dirt. And I think she picked up on that because she issues another apology, but then says, "How's your night going?" So she's trying to at least make a conversation out of this, so she seems interested. He goes, "No, it's okay. I'm excited to hear your voice though. Maybe send me pics of you? Mine is okay. I'm just chillin'." To me, it sounds like he's fishing for some sacred nudies here. I believe that he's probably in Coomer mode right now. His dick is in DEFCON 5, and now he's requesting some pics. I imagine if she did answer that phone call, it would have just been heavy breathing into it. Like something out of a horror movie. The phone calls coming from inside the house. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just a guy who really enjoys talking over the phone and getting some pictures of the person he's talking to over the other end. Totally innocent pictures.
Holy shit, what are you playing?
It's a little game called AFK Journey. Do you want to know more?
Yeah.
Big thanks to AFK Journey for sponsoring this video. AFK Journey is a wonderful free-to-play game that's available now on iOS, Google Store for mobile, and the AFK Journey official website for PC. Again, it's totally free to play and I highly recommend checking it out. AFK Journey is an ethereal RPG with distinctive visuals that you can just get lost in the breathtaking 3D canvas art of its world. It's more than just an idle game. There's new gameplay elements to it, a lot of new mechanics, as well as an added dimension with the PC-compatible side-scrolling. You'll be gathering heroes across 6 factions and formulating winning strategies with different teams. The Hex battle map allows players to freely assemble their hero lineup and strategically position them so you can master battlefield strategies to conquer each challenge with precision. You'll be exploring big maps, solving fun puzzles, meeting interesting NPCs, all with extremely fun and effortless one-handed gameplay. The official release is giving away over 40 heroes for free, including 200 free pulls for completing things like a 7-day login. So make sure to check out AFK Journey and use my CD key AFK Journey 88. You get a lot of goodies for that, 18,888 golden coins, 100 diamonds, some great stuff, so make sure to check it out. The links are in the description, and big thanks again to AFK Journey for sponsoring. Surprisingly, she doesn't seem creeped out by that. She says, "Oh, that's cute. I'm excited to hear yours too." And yeah, of course, I'll send some pics right now. Which is not the response I thought that would garner. I would have expected some kind of ickiness to it and maybe a question about, like, why? I mean, we've known each other less than 60 minutes. You can just scroll my fucking online dating profile to see some pics of me. His response to her is just, okay, cool. This guy is just very concise, matter of fact. She says, for the pics, do you want like recent ones? Because I have a ton ranging from like 2 weeks ago to like 4 years. He says, yes, but any, frowny face, and then winky frowny face. Every bone in my body is telling me that this dude is absolutely looking for some titty pics. He's looking for some honkers or something here. He's not looking for just like your normal Facebook photos or something you'd post on your Instagram story. He's not looking for you at the movies or something from 2 weeks ago seeing the Winnie the Pooh horror film. He's looking for ass and titties. That's my guess here, especially with like the winky frowny. I don't know why he's frowning so much. I'm not really sure. Maybe that's like an accident. Maybe you want to do like a winky face with a smile. But for some reason, he just keeps accidentally sending frowning faces, including like a winking frown face, which I've never seen before. I don't know how you even like sad wink at something to begin with either. I don't know, just, it seems like conflicting emotions there. He then calls her twice within 20 minutes and says, hello, upset. I'm waiting, lol. This guy types like he's playing a MOBA, like he's typing as quickly as possible just to convey the bare minimum amount of information. Upset. Hello? Okay, cool. Frowny. Winky frowny. Like, it's just very basic shit here. He's not actually even having a conversation. It's weird. Yet he keeps really wanting to talk on the phone. I don't know what would have happened if she answered some of these calls. Like, maybe he'd just fart into it and hang up while giggling. Perhaps, I don't know, like a big prank call? A huge ruse? Anyway, after 2 more failed calls, she says, hey, sorry, I just finished the movie. I wasn't looking at my phone, but I apologize that you're upset, but I just want to be straightforward with you since you were with me. I'm not like a very clingy person, and I'm kind of getting that vibe already, you know? And he goes, no, I just wanted to talk. You can answer, or call back. Completely missing the point of what she was saying, just insistent on having this phone call here. It's worse than a telemarketer. This guy just cold turkey calls her out of the blue. She doesn't answer, even issues an apology for not answering, which she didn't owe him, and he is still hung up on that and won't take any new information in. His brain is flooded with one idea. He can only hold one thought in his mind at any time, and right now that thought is, want to talk on phone. Upset if no talk on phone. So he's just stuck in that mode. So she goes, no, I get that. I just like taking things slow if that's okay. And he says, are you scared of connection? You can't talk without thinking it's too fast. Just call Jeez Louise. I have to wonder if she's communicating with a 13-year-old. Jeez Louise? You're dropping Jeez Louise in 2024? This is not what the Lord died for. Are you kidding me with this? Is this some kind of joke? Get out of town. A Jeez Louise in this day and age? He then goes, I could literally call right now. It's so easy. I don't like being ignored. No shit, it's easy to call, but why do you want to do that? And why won't you take no for an answer? You've known each other less than an hour. You don't even know each other. You just both had like a Metal Gear Solid ping that made you alerted that this other person existed. And now you're talking through Snapchat. This actually might be a toddler. Maybe the person that she matched with through Tinder or whatever the online dating app was, maybe they went to an Easter celebration with family and then their little nephew got a hold of the iPad and then just started talking to some of his contacts, and this lady was one of those victims here. So she's actually just communicating with a legitimate diaper-shitting, milk-snorting little kid. Because no adult, I feel like, communicates this way. I'm starting to really believe in that conspiracy theory here. But anyway, she responds, "Of course not, but I like to take things slow. I'm sorry. Please respect that I'm trying to be as cordial as possible. I haven't had the best experiences in the past." That's in response to the "Are you scared of connection" line that he drops here. Like he's out of some kind of bad Hallmark movie, or The Young and the Restless. Because she won't accept his random fucking phone calls here. And then in response, he tries to call her again. She says, "I would like to just text maybe until I'm more comfortable." And his response is, "I'm S." And then an audio message. I have to wonder, that's gotta be like the worst 26 seconds a microphone has ever recorded. I can only imagine what his voice sounds like. I'm imagining like squealing, high-pitched, nasally, like almost shatter glass level of an opera singer, like with that very high note, but throughout the entire 26 minutes. I also wonder what he was trying to say. I'm S. Maybe that's some kind of code that needs to be deciphered here. I'm serious, perhaps? I'm shitting? I'm silly? I have no idea. But anyway, she then takes a screenshot of the chat, and then he dumps a screenshot. He then follows that up by saying right at the top, and then tries to call her once again, just continuing to poke her here. He says, "Just wonder, answer." Maybe he's like actually overdosing right now, and he's trying to beg her to call the police to get them over there to save his life. I have no idea what's happening to his brain. It's turning to mush right before our eyes. Like he's getting hit by a stupid beam, and we're watching him fade away. She says, "I don't really know what to say. I feel like I'm being backed into a corner right now." He says, "Stop typing," and then calls her again, which of course she doesn't respond to, and then says, "OMG," drops another 26-second audio message, which is interesting that it's the exact same amount of time. I wonder if it's just the same message he dropped again. I'm not really sure. I also wonder what he said during that, to be honest. But anyway, he then says, "Bye, little baby." Oh, the heebie-jeebies. I'm getting them. Jinkies. Oh, good. Bye, little baby. Oh, yuck. And then she just says, "Can you please respect my boundaries? I apologize that I said I'd call earlier. I got nervous and I would feel more comfortable texting. If calling is more your thing when you first meet someone, then maybe we just aren't the best match. I wish you luck. Maybe we can try again tomorrow. I'm going to take a shower and head to bed. Good night." I don't know why she would even try and say, like, maybe we can try again tomorrow. She should have just not responded at all, because this guy is unhinged. This is just an absolute weirdo, and there's no salvaging this. Maybe she was a little fearful of, like, what this guy might do, perhaps, which is a very legitimate fear, so it's best to, like, cushion the blow. But even still, this guy is fucking weird. He then just says, "No," like a defeated Power Rangers villain. Because that boundary is silly. I don't care. I'm of interested anymore. Bye. Not. So he's saying, I'm not interested anymore. So because she wouldn't talk on the phone, he's no longer interested, and he thinks that boundary is silly, thus he has no respect for it. What a man. And then she says, "Okay, I apologize again. Hope you have a great night." And then he just says, "Just say bye." What a quirky little lunatic here. Impressive self-sabotage. Like, this lady seemed more than willing to communicate, like, interested in learning more about him, just didn't really want to hop on a phone call, which is super understandable since they'd only known of each other for less than an hour. She gave so many chances to just stop doing the creepy phone call routine and just text like normal people that are starting to get to know each other through like an online dating app. Like, you're not friends and you don't know each other at all. So why the fuck would you want to hop on a phone call first thing right away? That's overwhelming. That's a lot. That's just weird. And he just kept getting creepier and creepier. He fell apart. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to go over this one because it had me giggling quite a bit, because geez Louise, he was off the rails. That's really about it. See ya. Hey, how are you? Are you having a good day? I hope so. and I hope you won't be mad at me if I try and change that real quick. I want to put a very yucky TikTok creep on your radar, and it's someone I'm sure some of you have heard of over the last year or so. He's become a bit of an infamous boogeyman that a lot of people have talked about. Most notably, Oompaville made a whole video on him, kind of breaking down all of the awful degenerate shit he's done. He was actually quite popular. He had over 1 million followers on there. His initial account was called Snapshot Eye. He then had to make other ones in lieu of a lot of allegations that came out and a lot of information that went public. His real name is Paul Breach, which is fitting, because he keeps breaching the restraining order parents have against him to protect the safety of their children online. I'm only kidding about that. I don't know if there's any actual restraining orders against him. Even if there were, it would mean nothing to him. You can't teach the breach. He's going to continue to flirt and act inappropriately with underage kids on TikTok. It's all he knows, damn it. So, Paul Breach is an alleged predator, but a confirmed creep. And I'm not here to just go over all of the allegations. There's quite a few videos that cover them extraordinarily well. The reason I'm talking about him is he's blowing up yet again thanks to a clip of his that just went viral. This is during one of his nightmarish TikTok lives.
Oh, there's a plane crash in Tanzania. Oh, blimey. Into the lake.
So he gets this tragic news and immediately goes right back into lip syncing and shit. Now keep in mind, this man is in his 40s. Now, I'm sure you didn't need me to tell you that. You can look at him and immediately deduce this isn't exactly a teenage boy here doing this cringe-ass lip-sync shit. Terrorists have infiltrated a local Burger King. Oh, jeez. And they're slitting the throat of the hostages. Jinkies. Hey, prayers to the families. And I'm sure after just seeing this, you're probably not surprised to learn that he's got a very foul past. So, he's no spring chicken. He's in his 40s here, and he constantly engages inappropriately with young girls in his audience, and it's something he's come under heavy scrutiny for a long time. He's actually somewhat of a pseudo-celebrity in the UK, where people sometimes have gone out of their way to find him and make fun of him directly to his face. Sometimes there's even, like, in the wild spottings, like Bigfoot, where they'll start filming him and then go up and start insulting him. And it's become something of a beloved pastime over the last year. It died down once he kind of fell off, but now that this clip is blowing up again, I've seen that his channel on TikTok, at least the one I believe is still his, is getting quite a bit more traction from it. Even though this isn't necessarily the newest clip, it is a very silly and surprising one that a lot of people have had their curiosity piqued by, so went out of their way to find more from him. Thus, Paul Breach, the cockroach, continues to somewhat thrive. His whole shtick is posting thirst traps, even though, if you're thirsty, this isn't gonna quench it. What he's doing is just gonna be putting sand in your mouth and making it worse, like giving you the fucking cinnamon challenge. What he posts is the opposite of a thirst trap. It is alarming. He is way too old to be doing this garbage. And I don't mean to be mean and rude, but he's not exactly a 10 out of 10 looking gentleman here. It's also worth mentioning, this kind of thing isn't uncommon for his streams, though it is probably his most preposterous moment ever recorded. To go from horrible news right back into his god-awful thirst trapping.
Oh, bless you, love. Bless you. Love.
I just wanted to show you another clip of how unhinged his TikTok lives are. So sometimes he'll just play sound effects to give the impression that there's other people around him, always women. This one, I don't even understand what the thought process was. I think he sat on a whoopee cushion to make a fart noise, as if it was like a girl over there farting, and he's like, oh goodness, hey now, that butthole's not meant to be usable, it's just supposed to be aesthetic for me. Girls shouldn't be fucking farting. Despicable. And then he plays a very clearly stock sneeze sound effect and then goes even further, love? And then, like, gets, like, angry about it, it seems.
Fucking hell. Jacob, thanks for the follow. So much. That is a fucking cracking impression of me, love. How you do that?
It's actually one of the saddest goddamn things imaginable. To be so fucking lonely that you have to fake interaction around you on a TikTok live stream where people go there mainly to make fun of you, because by this point he had already become kind of like a TikTok spittoon for people to stop in and spit a loogie into. But like I mentioned, unfortunately there were a few young fans that would reach out to him, and he would always reciprocate being flirtatious. He even got called out on this pretty often, way before like he had to take his account down. I think he got banned. I don't think he took it down. But there were always people taking notice of like, Paul, why do you always just reply to like these really young girls?
Why do you only talk to girls in the comments? Because it's only the girls that are commenting, and if it's a comment from a guy, I say hi. I don't know. Maybe because I'm dating them all and we're having babies. Only to the ones I'm married to, which is all of them.
Who could have imagined that the 40-something-year-old man making thirst traps aimed at children would turn out to be a real weirdo? I can't believe it. It's always the ones you least expect, am I right? I'd also like to show you another one of his clips that's somewhat blowing up right now. This is apparently one that he sent directly to a fan, and it is so uncomfortable to watch.
Lainey, smile. That is an order. And then jump in a cold bath. Get yourself smiling, get yourself happy. I've been a moody little, for a little while, and that is just stupid on my behalf. So I apologise if anything I've ever done has brought you in a low mood. I know I was idiot at the start of the week, and I've taken steps to fix that. But you need to smile, you need to be happy. You've got a beautiful smile. Please use it, perhaps.
His brain just blue screens there for a moment. Windows had to have a hard reset there. He had his own little Mitch McConnell moment during this message that he sent to one of his fans.
It's always nice to get a message from your sweet. And it's always lovely to see that smile.
What an uplifting video. I know you're sad, but have you tried not being sad and just smiling? Because I'm ordering you to. In fact, you don't have a choice. Smile. And you will feel better, because it'll make me feel better. And you should be happy when I'm happy. Damn it. I don't know, everything about this guy is really weird. So, since he is blown up recently, I just wanted to at least make people aware of who he is and his past, because he's not exactly just some, like, goofy guy. He's an unhinged, weird guy with a lot of serious accusations against them. And I've only just begun to scratch the surface of how awful a lot of the things he's being accused of are. And a lot of them he's never denied or anything at all, really. He just buries his head and pushes forward, doing more lip-syncing and bad dancing. And people have confronted him directly, and he still never really denies any of it. It's hard to explain, and the whole point of this video was just to let you all know Paul Breach sucks. That's about it. See ya. It's been a while since I've gone over diabolical texts, and today I've got a doozy for you. It's a maniac melting down over mayonnaise, blowing a gasket, going ballistic at his girlfriend because he believes that she has tampered with his mayonnaise, and even goes as far as to lightly accuse her of trying to poison him through this new state of matter that he found the mayonnaise in. He's a 46-year-old gentle sir, tip the fedora, who's a big mayonnaise enthusiast that really thinks he stumbled across a grand conspiracy here that his girlfriend is at the helm of. We begin our journey into madness. He says, "Funny how all the Hellmans is liquid state. Ideas?" This is clearly confusing to her because it reads like a fucking riddle. She says, "What? What does that mean?" "Lived on my own since '96. Never seen that. 2 separate bottles." I love the way he says that, lived on my own since '96. That's like some shit you'd hear from like some washed up loser who's like, "Yeah, as you know, I was the quarterback that led my high school football squad to the state championship in '98. Go Warthogs. I could have been pro if it wasn't for that damn case of athlete's foot." She then asks, "Are you talking about Mayo?" Which he responds saying, "Bravo. What a fucking douchebag. This guy is turbo dweeb." And then she says, "So we went all day not fighting, and you're ending the night fighting over Mayo. Okay." That's a pretty sad message because it sounds like they fight all the time. He then gets his monocle out and begins his interrogation, connecting the pieces of this puzzle like it's fucking LA Noire. "Super weird you disappeared when you dude, and both of them melted in the fridge. I have samples. This man's got the beakers out and he's mixing chemicals, testing the viscosity and the compounds within the mayo. She then reminds him that she doesn't eat mayonnaise and then asks what melted. And he just says, "Inver seen anything like it, going to bed." What in the world are you talking about? Great question. Try to answer tomorrow. Weirdo is speaking in riddles. The timeline is all cattywampus, so he's saying that it's odd she disappeared at some point. I don't know what he even meant by that. He said that she disappeared when dude. I don't know what that means, so I'm guessing he thinks that when she wasn't like in the room with him, she must have been contaminating the mayonnaise and liquefying it for some reason. What an unhinged theory from a dangerously stupid goober. I wonder if he also goes to the fridge and freaks out when he sees that his expired milk is a little chunky. Does he accuse his girlfriend of foul play then too? Like, "You harlot! You chunkified my milk! These are cyanide crystals in here! You want me dead!" Like, how can he be 46 years old and not understand that mayonnaise is an emulsification of oils and egg, and sometimes that shit can just separate? Mental break, I guess you're having. Nothing you're saying makes sense. First mayo, now something about melting? How's this? I use Hellman's mayo regularly, as you know. I know the viscosity. Oh, what is this guy? The fucking mayor of mayonnaise? This guy a mayonnaise sorcerer? A wizard? He understands it inside and out? He's like a spokesperson for Hellman's. He's like advertising the shit out of this product. Both containers are literally liquid. Nothing else has melted in the fridge. And she says, "And I did this?" He says, "I didn't." And she replies with a gif just calling him crazy. Which he is. He is crazy. She didn't do it. You didn't do it. It's something that happens to mayonnaise. You've been living on your own since 96, boofing mayonnaise for fucking 46 years, and you don't understand that mayonnaise can separate. I feel like even if someone explained this to him, he would just disregard it because he chooses not to believe it. He would rather believe that his girlfriend is trying to kill him through liquefying his mayonnaise. It's scary that people can end up at a point like this guy. Does he also go outside and shake his fist whenever the wind blows because he doesn't understand who's making the wind blow? I'd been planking leftovers for late dinner all night before tomorrow starts a new week. Then mayo came out like soy sauce. That's a first. Then the other container did it. Never seen that in my life, even when mayo is left out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's got the magnifying glass out and he's looking at the footprints and he's starting to piece together what's happening. And then she says, "And you're blaming me. I don't even eat mayo. Case in point. And I'm crazy." I don't even know what case in point he's talking about. Like, exactly. You don't eat mayo. Checkmate. She then wants just like full clarification on what he actually thinks is going on. So she says, "What is it exactly you think I did?" And he disregards that, just saying, "I'm going to sleep." Hey, Buster, don't forget to check under your bed for the boogeyman that's sabotaging your mayonnaise. Melted mayo. Sabotage your mayo. Wow. Good night. He says, "Do yourself a favor. Open trash can and look. Tell me it's normal. Just look at both containers." I don't even need to open your trash can. It's normal. She didn't liquefy your mayonnaise, man. It wasn't, pumped full of, plutonium or something to take you out. That happens to mayonnaise. And then here's where it gets real spicy. He says, "Thus far, you haven't been able to poison me." Moron's been watching too much Game of Thrones. He thinks that everyone's out to get him. You're mental. We watch the same shows, which tells me he actually just can't separate reality from fiction. But I would love to know what show has a character poison another through watery mayonnaise. She says, "Save those bottles and go get them examined, lol. End your brain while you're at it." And he says, "Well, they are in the trash. Feel free to investigate." 100% he should double fist those Hellmans and take them to a forensic lab to get them checked. He should absolutely do that, and I guarantee, even when it comes back totally normal, no contaminants, he would still disregard it and say that they're lying, it's all a big conspiracy, they're working with his girlfriend to take him out. He then says, "Tell me if the consistency makes sense." Holy shit, this guy. So she says, "So I tried poisoning you. What the hell is wrong with you, dude? I haven't touched your mayo or anyone's mayo, not even touched store mayo. How is it different from last night?" What happened last night? I made a sandwich with mayo. Oh no, the smoking gun! Just last night, the mayo was the perfect viscosity, and then today, it's ruined! There's only one explanation. It must have been poisoned by my girlfriend. I realize how odd this is, but I've never seen anything like this. He's making it sound like some kind of crazy scientific discovery, like he just discovered fucking an alien spacecraft that crash landed in his backyard. I've never seen anything of this sort on this planet. It doesn't compute. Mayo doesn't just do this, and you randomly started being calm and cordial this morning, unprompted after weeks and weeks of deliberately being impossible. I threw it all out. This guy sounds like such an asshole. An actual unhinged, delusional, dumb, turbo idiot asshole. Like, Mayo does do that. Like, it is well known for doing that. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. It's well documented. And he's talking about it like this is some one-of-a-kind phenomenon, and the only logical explanation is that it must have been poisoned. And she just says, "You are nuts," which he is. He then says, "It spreads a certain way, unless somehow that has changed. But it would have been within the last 24 hours. It was like it had melted." She just says, "Dude. Yeah, dude. You know I use mayo on sandwiches. This was like a melted mayo spread. Never seen anything like it. From both bottles." And then she's like, "Okay, then we'll take the bottles tomorrow, have somewhere examine them, and you can come put them somewhere safe." Put his mayo in a vault, a refrigerated vault. "You can find them in trash can. Please feel free to examine them and prove me wrong. I know it sounds weird going to bed. It's weird as fuck and mental. It's just oddly mean. Good night, dude." I don't know why he keeps challenging her to prove him wrong. It would only take one quick Google search to figure out why his mayonnaise has ended up in that state, and it has nothing to do with his girlfriend tampering with it to make an attempt on his life. What a bizarre lunatic, making a huge hubbub about mayonnaise, and then accusing his girlfriend of trying to kill him. That's craziness. I got a little parasocial here trying to learn more about this guy. I got so curious to learn more about him, and she had made a couple other posts about him. The other ones are just really sad. I'm not going to get into it, but there's nothing I learned more about him except that he is a big asshole that is very unstable, and she should absolutely leave him as soon as possible. ASAP. So anyway, I just had to talk about this a little bit. It was a wild read. That's it. See ya. I remember growing up, there used to be this classic scene in like every movie where you'd have this grown man walking down his driveway in a bathrobe with a cup of joe in his hand and pick up the newspaper to start his morning. Yeah, now that I'm 30, I do something similar, but instead of going and getting the newspaper, I have Matt send me some wacky stuff, and today he blessed me with a pretty pitiful meltdown from this guy who lost his gourd over a girl he was talking to through a dating app not having any interest in him anymore. And I'll go over that in a second, but it led to a Jimmy Neutron brain blast where I remembered one from a couple years ago where this dude just wouldn't take no for an answer in a garage, and it is so pathetic. So I'm just going to go over both of them. So the text messages start with him asking, "Are we still on tomorrow? Just wondering as I can make other plans." That already doesn't exude a lot of confidence here. I'm guessing he was not receiving answers in a timely enough fashion, so he started to pick up on the hunch that maybe she wasn't as interested as she once was. And then she confirms his suspicion, saying, "I'm so sorry. Read your message when I was busy, forgot to reply. Sorry, I found a connection with someone else, so I'm just gonna see how that goes. Probably not a good idea to meet tomorrow. Sorry, did enjoy talking to you, and I hope your family get-together was fun." He was playing second fiddle, and she wasn't looking for more members of the band, so she just kind of let him down gently, I think. Better than being ghosted, I'd say. She just kind of gave him the business. But he was not ready for that business. He was hoping business operation hours were closed. He completely loses his mind. "Haha, my total lack of surprise. Good luck." Crying emojis, laughing, but he's actually just crying. You can actually feel the salty tears through the phone screen. "You know what? Fuck you, scummy." He is very hurt, very much so. "Scummy little fuck, talking to numerous guys on dating apps, lining them up, faking connections with people, setting up dates and ruining people's weekends. I got your name and I got your details, and you'll see something later, twat. Little shit bag. Fuck off, worthless trash." So now he's going into, like, threats. "I got your name and I got your details." So I guess he was gonna fucking show up there like the Undertaker or something. I don't, like, it's a dating app, man. Like, she's not your girlfriend. You haven't even met yet. So yeah, she's probably talking to other people on there the same way I bet you would be if you had more than one match over the course of 2 years. That's not some surprising revelation like, oh my god, you whore, you're talking to multiple men on Tinder? How could you? You're supposed to be mine and mine alone. We matched, for God's sake. Oh my goodness, for crying out loud, we were a perfect match. Tinder said so. We had plans. Like, brother, yeah, it's unlucky that she found someone that she was more interested in, but at the very least, she didn't ghost you, so you know exactly where you stand. Just move the fuck on. She responds saying, there's no need to be rude, I'm sorry, I was talking to you and someone else and the other guy just lives closer, so it's more convenient too. Don't appreciate the threat. I've tried to keep it respectful, but yikes. Good luck to you. That once again sets the bomb off, so he just starts spamming fuck off, and then he calls her fat. This is like the actual classic nice guy meltdown, by the way. This is like the quintessential Tinder nice guy weirdo when he gets rejected. You're fat fuck anyway. When that guy's done with you, you'll wish you had a chance with someone like me. Oh, ew, oh. People like this exist, by the way. Isn't that crazy? I was giving you a chance. Yeah, you missed out on a real saint here, lady. You missed out on Casanova. You fucked it, kid. Bye. He thought he was on Xbox Live for a moment. I think he just kind of got lost in the sauce with that last little bit. But he wasn't done here. His rage couldn't be contained on just a single app, so then he started directly texting her with, once again, another threat. I want to have a word with you about your behavior on dating apps, and if it's not possible through phone, it will be in person. I want to talk to your manager. I need to report your Tinder dating behavior. You talked to multiple men on a dating app. That's a big no-no. You're going straight to the slammer for that one, missy. Goober thought they were dating just because they matched on Tinder. He probably told his whole family that he had a girlfriend just because they had a match in like 2 conversations through Tinder. It's scary though. Like, that is actually frightening. All she did was just very gently tell him, hey, look, found someone else, not gonna be going to the weekend plans that we had scheduled. Sorry. And now he's about to, like, show up to her house to have a word with her about it in person, which is, of course, always a recipe for disaster, so hopefully she has the means of defending herself should this guy actually show up. But anyway, after reading this, it reminded me of a video from a couple years back where a guy could not take no for an answer. Like, I don't really know what connects these two other than rejection. I don't know why this popped into my noodle after reading this, but I'm glad it did because I hadn't revisited this video in a long time.
Gotcha.
This is just golden. What a beautiful start. So the dude's leaning on the driver's side window, hitting her with the puppy dog eyes. How can you say no to a face like that? Then he starts like moving back and forth, and he starts to pout a little bit. It looks like a kid who got sent to timeout. So he's outside the driver window. He's just, I don't really know what his plan is. He's just hoping maybe she'll change her mind. So the backstory is they had met at a bar. He was kind of normal then and then started getting a little rowdy and was touching them, and really, he just really wanted to fuck. And they were not about that. So they left and he followed them to the garage, and now this is his last-ditch Hail Mary to get some pussy, I guess. Leaning on the driver window doing this.
You guys are still parked right next to the,
Brother, at least start mewing or something. Like, come on. Spam some Fortnite emotes. Do something. He's just sitting there idle animations. Like, come on. This is never going to work. This never stood a chance. So, they actually ended up confronting him, and that conversation is something to behold.
No, I believe you 100%, but
Well, what's wrong with going home? If the Uber takes you home, you're safe.
I had a bad, it's embarrassing. Like, I had a bad argument with my girlfriend.
a what?
A bad argument with my girlfriend.
Okay, well, we called
Like,
you.
I don't want to like go home to her because she's gonna be.
Oh, you guys live together?
Yeah. Like
Well, then you can stay out for a minute.
There's a lot of lore here, so try to keep up, Buster. We're getting an exposition dump right off rip. So, he's obviously hammered. He's had a little bit of alcohol. And he is now saying that he has a girlfriend. And I also love the way the lady filming responds to that, saying, "A what? A girlfriend?" Like, just complete shock with the way he's behaving here, while also apparently having a significant other. I have a game theory. He doesn't have a girlfriend. I think he was trying to make himself seem like a bad boy. And somehow more desirable, like, hey, look, I have a girlfriend. Women like me. Will you like me?
she's gonna like try to like fuck me up. You know.
Okay,
She's
then you
gonna
don't
put
need
me
to
back
go
in jail.
home.
Like,
Back
she-
in jail?
Yeah. Like.
So you were in jail. And we're supposed to trust you immediately.
No, but like she's like put me in jail. You know.
Okay, I don't get what that means.
She put me in
Your
jail.
Uber, Jorge, is gonna be picking you up. You
No,
should
can I
go
tell you
up.
something?
Sure.
She put me in jail for like 2 days.
For what?
Okay, what'd you do?
It was domestic abuse.
So you hit her.
He's got the silver tongue. He knows just what to say to tickle a woman's heart, huh? Man, I don't know how they stood strong in rejecting this man's advances to go home with them. He's just openly telling them that he's been to jail for domestic abuse. That's a big play. That's a very bold strategy. I mean, I guess we'll see how it plays out for him. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go over really well. Women that you're trying to woo don't usually like to hear that you have a history of domestic abuse.
No,
So what'd you do?
she had bruises on her from sex.
So you hit her. From
No,
what?
From sex.
Oh my god.
It was from sex.
Oh my-
I never hit her. I never closed it. I never
Okay.
hit her with a closed hand. It was never
Your
close hand.
Uber, Jorge, we called you.
He briefly dropped the Tommy Wiseau right there. I didn't hit her. I did not. So he's saying that when he went to jail for domestic abuse, it's not because he hit her with a closed hand. He makes sure to make a specific mention of a closed hand. He says she had bruises on her from sex. I don't know, man. The story's not making a ton of sense. Something's not checking out here.
Is gonna be here in 5 minutes. You should head
No, but
up.
I'm saying like I never hit her with a closed hand.
Okay.
It was closed.
With a closed hand. So with an open hand?
But I never.
Oh my god. Okay. Like I said, it was really nice meeting you, but we called you an Uber. We're not forcing you to get home drunk. Literally, you should head up before I'm gonna have to call the cops.
I'm super surprised they engaged with this conversation for as long as they did, and they were even nice enough to call this guy an Uber. That I am shocked by, actually. So they call him an Uber and everything, and he still is just not taking no for an answer. He is still preventing them from leaving and trying to, I don't know, salvage this situation so he can get laid or something. I don't know what his plan is. He's talked about going to jail for domestic abuse and how he didn't beat his girl with a closed hand. So then they said, well, so you hit her with an open hand? He's like, but it was never a closed hand. I don't know what playbook he's running in his head here, but it is not John Madden's finest plays that he's executing. I can say that much with confidence.
Because now it's harassment. We called you an Uber. I appreciate the drinks. You should head up.
Where should I go?
You should head up and find Punch Bowl Social. They're in a red Ford Fusion. Go to them. Don't look at her. What is she gonna do? I'm telling you no. This is my car. No, you okay, I don't know you. I don't care. It's been 20 minutes at this point. We called you an Uber. Please
almost
leave.
here, probably.
They're almost here. Go find Jorge. Literally.
Now he's moping and he's like, but pussy though? But what about the vagina? I love how he's just like, well, where do I go though? If I can't go home with you, there's nowhere left for me. The streets? You're gonna make me go sleep on the streets? Is that what you want? That's gonna be on your conscience. It's like, brother, just they called you an Uber, man. They did so much more than they needed to for a fucking creep weirdo like you, man. Just get in the Uber and go the fuck home. Call it a wrap.
But I'm not.
I don't care. I'm gonna get in the car. Please leave. Leave. Now.
Can I ask you something?
I don't care. Leave.
I'm not about
I don't give a fuck. It's gonna escalate. Leave. Leave right now.
I can get in a lot.
I'm getting in the car. I don't give a fuck.
He continues to choose the worst dialogue options, and she just gets so fed up. She just gets in the car, her friend gets in the car, and presumably they leave somehow. He probably stops blocking her at some point. She just keeps telling him, "You're making it worse. Get the fuck away." And it eventually leads to them being able to get out of there. Anyway, though, just wanted to talk about these two things real quick. That's about it. See ya. I've never had a threesome. And I've never had an experience where I read something so cringe that it made my tummy upset. One of these two things is about to change today, and I don't think it's the threesome. I just read something from, yet again, my deep diving onto the horrors of modern dating with absolute deranged weirdos. And the whole interaction was so mind-bogglingly peculiar that my body couldn't help but suffer from a physical reaction after finishing this adventure here. I don't know where these men are coming from. These dudes are just being printed in the cringe factory and being thrown into the dating world as like the worst NPC encounters you could ever have. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. But before doing that, just a quick heads up. The Moist Global Retro Basketball line is still available right now. This is the best assortment of merch the internet's ever seen, so you can go to moistglobal.com right now and pick something up. Links in the description. I just read some of the backstory she was posting about this situation in the comments, and it's actually pretty sad. Apparently these two had been dating for about 3 years. It was a horrible situation all around, and a couple months ago she left and took the kids. But this is the most recent interaction between the two of them. She 100% made the right move in leaving. This guy seems like a fucking menace. But anyway, it begins innocently enough. That's good, just working away with 3 exclamation points, so he's having a jolly old day at work. Did you get to the doctors yet? She says, yeah, I have COVID. What did he say it give you? What? What did the doctor say or give you to feel better? Take Advil, Tylenol, sleep as much as you can, and quarantine. This is so timely because I myself just finished going through COVID over the last 11 or so days. And this is the 3rd time it's fisted me. It has gone elbow deep in my ass 3 times, and all 3 times that is the exact same advice I was given by doctors. Now, of course, you can still ask for like a Paxlovid prescription if you want. It should help with like symptoms, but it's not usually the first thing they give you unless you're someone who is at risk for like complications, I think. It is an option, but typically they'll just tell you that. You know, take Tylenol, sleep it off, rest, fluids, simple stuff like that. So it seems innocent enough here, and the guy she's communicating with almost seems jovial. You know, like when he says, just working away, I can already see him typing that and going, just working away. You know, one of these with a big old smile on his face, ear to ear. He seems like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And then it all falls apart. This feels like a real Jekyll and Hyde situation. He immediately just doubts her, doesn't trust her, accuses her of lying. Lol, so you didn't go to the doctors. Before this turns into a fight, just tell the fucking truth, lol. She says, I did. There's no meds for this. Yes, there is. Go to the doctors, lol. I need the address and the name of the clinic that told you there's no medicine. Also, the name do the doctors. They will be losing their license. So he's fucking spiraling immediately here. And I feel like this isn't exclusive to just him. I feel like a lot of men these days assume that every girl they interact with, even their significant other they've been with for 3 goddamn years, is some kind of lying, cheating harpy or something. So they're constantly interrogating because they don't believe anything they say. I feel like there's just so many dudes out there with this, like, insecurity within them where they doubt everything their partner says, believing that they're cheating in some way. They're lying about something, hiding something, and it's fucking awful. So this guy's trying to checkmate her here with the scholar's mate. Like, okay, then give me the name and the address, because I'm going to call them to double check, because I don't believe you, madame. She then says, stop being so fucking melodramatic. I seriously don't need this shit right now. There isn't anything they can give me. I'll be fine once it works its way through my system. He just continues to press, please, name of the doctors, location you want to, please. I know you sick. That's why I'm jandling this for you, and just need to know which doctor you went to. I can handle this properly. This guy has so much steam coming out of his ears, it's clouding his eyes. He can't even fucking type properly. He's typing like a caveman. He's going full Neanderthal mode here. Like, what in the world is happening in his noodle? He's gonna start jandling this? That reminds me of jelking. Like, that was an old thing on the internet where you're supposed to, like, masturbate in a certain way to elongate your wiener. Jandling feels like it's some kind of, like, sub-discipline of jelking. But anyway, she says, I don't need you to scream at the receptionist for no reason at all. Stop being ridiculous. I won't scream at anyone, just tell me the information. K can handle this, please. If you don't provide it to me, it's because you're lying and didn't go to the doctors. There's nothing to handle. So just tell me the name of the doctor you saw. This douchebag is making so many typos, it looks like he's trying to transcribe the Scatman. I can jandle. It's like ridiculous how crazy he's going because he's so angry. I don't know why he'd even think she's lying about this. He admits that he knows she is sick. So why would she lie about going to the doctor? Well, like, what the fuck thought process is that? I know my girlfriend is sick, but it's probably dick sickness. She's probably hungry for cock and it's causing her physical pain. That's probably what it is. She didn't go to the doctor. She went to a penis appointment. That's what it is, and she's lying to me about it. I knew it! It continues to just get out of control. She says, lol, I shouldn't have to prove to you anything. I'm sick, I have COVID. She's absolutely right. She doesn't have to prove anything here. She doesn't need to try and, like, defeat his delusions. That's not her responsibility here. She's done nothing wrong. And he just continues, you're not proving anything to me, lol. There is medication for this. I know for a fact, as I know someone else who had COVID last week. There isn't, unless you're old as fuck or have an autoimmune disease or your lungs are shit. Otherwise, you're just a carry through like normal fucking virus. Yes, there is. Let me call the do it. And I will get you proof. Where did you go, baby? That comes out of nowhere. After all of this, he hits her with a where did you go, baby? I can already just tell from reading this shit, this guy is extraordinarily manipulative and a completely insufferable person to be around. But anyway, she goes, I went to a walk-in, and frankly, I'm not going to allow you to cause a muck over nothing. I'm going back to bed. What walk-in clinic? If you don't tell me, I'm don't with you. Because I'm not a ducking idiot, and I know you're lying, haha. You have 3 minutes to get me the address of the walk-in clinic or else. So now man's out here setting a time limit. He's dropping the ultimatum. You give me the name, and I will hunt them down. Out here like Liam Neeson, about to track them down with his particular set of cringe skills. I guess his thought process was he just wants to confirm that she actually went to the doctor, because for some reason he doesn't trust her even slightly, even though they've been together for 3 years. I also imagine if he did call them, he'd start yelling and screaming and causing a big hoopla, because he seems like that kind of unhinged, deranged lunatic that would do shit like that. But anyway, the 3 minutes to get me the address of the walk-in clinic or else, that's it. Buy more chances for you. She says, fine, be done with me because I don't want you yelling at someone for no fucking reason. He says, no one's going to get yelled at. You're just nothing but a liar and KM Jot a fucking idiot. I wouldn't have even called them, but everything you say is a lie, and you think I'm an idiot, and you can fool me. Anyway, joke's on you, enjoy. Hope it was worth it, kid. His use of exclamation points and emojis is absolutely infuriating, but even more so than that, the cherry on top of the shit cake is him saying, hope it was worth it, kid. He's speaking like he's back on Xbox Live in a Call of Duty lobby. What? Hope it was worth it, kid? Oh, God, sickening. But clearly the reason he's using the emojis and the exclamation points is he's trying to put on this strong, masculine front that none of this bothers him. This is the biggest mistake of your life. You're going to regret this. But me, I'm laughing. I'm having fun with this. This means nothing to me. So much so that I'll drop a laughing, crying emoji and 5 exclamation points. Haha, not hurting me. She then says, lol, joke's on me because I'm sick. Great joke. Love that for myself. Love that I feel like I'm being dragged through the mud, fire, literally feel the worst ever. Great support, thanks. Joke's on you because you lost the best man of your life because you'd rather lie than tell the truth. Leave me alone. What the fuck? Oh my God. It's just so painful reading this. It's so fucking sad reading this, knowing that not only have they been together for 3 years, but I guess also have kids. Like, and speaking of the kids, his final message to her is this. You got it, Buster. Have fun being a homeless narcissist liar that no one loves, not even their children. He just dropped a cold Buster here at the end and then told her that she is a homeless narcissist that not even her children love. What kind of delusional evil shit is this? He's calling someone a narcissist. That's unbelievable. Pfft. And then to say that not even their children love her? What? I don't know how you go from like, oh, where'd you go, baby? You know, like, obviously, like, in love kind of thing, to immediately, like, no one loves you, everyone hates you, I'm the best man that has ever existed in this entire fucking history of our species, and you just blew it with me. This is your fault. You're unlovable. You're a liar. Your children don't love you. You're a narcissist. Like, it's just crazy how quickly someone can become this. It's so fucking sad. She definitely made the right call leaving this guy. I'm, of course, no, relationship counselor or guru or anything, but very clearly, this is an unhealthy person to be around. This guy super sucks. This guy is a turbo fucking loser. And according to her comments, this was only like the tip of the iceberg. She actually called this interaction mild. So I can only imagine how awful of a person this piece of shit is. She definitely made the right call. And to think all of this happened because she got COVID and went to the doctor, and that was enough to set this guy off. That's terrible. That's horrible. But yeah, like I said, I have been deep on like the modern dating scene, travesty, seeing like what all's been going on and being posted by people online. I just find it all so interesting. So I can't help but talk about some of these that really get crazy. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. It's been a little while since I dropped some hot, steaming, creepy text messages on all of you, and I think we were long overdue for some more, so Coach called me off the bench and I'm about to provide. But something a little different here. The text messages I'm going to show aren't like the standard weirdo, unhinged, lunatic type behavior, but I think it's something that a lot of people might be able to learn from. So, to give a little background, the poster here, she mentioned that she had gone on one date with this guy and knew him for like 2 months, and the date didn't go super well. And then we fast forward to this interaction that we're about to cover, and the reason why I think this is a teachable moment is because I feel like this is something maybe a lot of people do without realizing it's not a good idea, and there's actually hints of old Charles in these text messages here. Deep in the flavor profile of these embarrassing texts we're about to go over, I see myself staring me in the mirror when I was but a wee lad, a young man. The very first time I got a girl's number that I was interested in, I was giddy. It felt like I had just won the Super Bowl, and I couldn't stop texting her, even when I wasn't getting responses, which is a big no-no. That is a huge, unforgivable sin. You don't do that because it's annoying. And sometimes if I didn't receive a response after my like 4th text in a row within a like 20-minute period, I'd just be like, oh man, shucks, she hates me, zoinks, I blew it. And then I'd still send like another 3 texts, and I know I mentioned this before at one point, but sometimes I'd get so like desperate and like begging for a response that I'd send her little ASCII art of stick figures. It's so bad. Actually, I was worse than the guy in the messages we're about to cover, but his is floating around, and I really think it's important that people realize that that's just not how you should communicate with anyone. Not even just someone that you're interested in, just anybody in general. No one likes to just be pestered. So let's begin. I am believing right now you might be my kryptonite. Need to hang out more, but I'm pretty sure you're my kryptonite. I'm good with anyone, and they will probably be my best friend once they are done. Just what I'm used to. I don't really know what that means, if I'm being honest. What do you mean, she's your kryptonite? It's supposed to be cute and romantic, but I don't really get it. That's kind of like an insult to her. Like, look, you're bad for me. You literally poison me. You make me sick, is basically what that's saying. It's not really that romantic, but I think he's trying to mean it in like a sweet way. But anyway, She says, sorry, I can't talk right now. I just got my son from school. Give me a second. Which is totally reasonable. She's giving a response, letting him know that she can't really properly respond to whatever conversation's trying to be started from this cold open. And he goes, okay, sounds good. Enjoy your time with them, please. Cody is about to get home, and then we're gonna go play some ski board, and I'm drinking, and then sends a picture of the beverage. He must have been butt-chugging that Miller Lite there, because then things really fly off the rails. Feels kind of weird being in Wichita Falls. I love it, though. Let's have a good time. Can I call you? I miss you already. Sorry to call, just wanted to talk to you. I'm guessing he tried dialing her there and didn't get a response. I don't want to be one of those guys that just be passionate about anything, but in the instance I was passing about you, there's a couple things in society that you go through. I don't know what type of Confucius wisdom he was trying to drop there. There's a whole lot of words in that vomit, and none of it translates to anything in that sentence. I don't know what was even said there. That is a real head-scratcher. Where's life and just live, but nothing truly measures to you meeting up and having a good conversation. I like you. I like you a lot. My friends coming from all destinations have a party tonight. I hope you're there. I hope you have school, please deem that necessary. Please deem your boy necessary. I love our conversation, but I'm probably the best dude you ever know. Big red flag. Anyone that identifies as a nice guy or the best guy you ever know, hey, probably not gonna be the best guy you ever know. Yeah, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. If you're tooting your own horn, that horn's gonna be stinky most of the time here. But me saying that, I don't know. But you are a princess to me. Sorry to text you so much, as I'm not a texter. Do you need to call me? I'm there. I'm leaving Cheddar's now, about to hang out with one of my friends. He's meeting me here. Heart. And she finally responds saying, I'm sorry, I have class in a minute. I'm trying to rush through everything quick as can be. Again, totally understandable. She has already said that she is busy. So it's probably not a good idea to just fucking flood her phone with all this spaghetti that's fallen out here. So let's break this down. He's clearly very excited. And there's nothing wrong with being excited. Being excited's great, but maybe dial it back when you're not getting responses. He talks about loving their conversation. Brother, there's no conversation except for the one you're having with a ghost right now. There's nothing happening in these messages. You are speaking to yourself. To me, it seems like he started panicking when he wasn't getting a response in a time period he felt was acceptable, so then just kept sending more and more text messages on top of it, just bombarding her. And then he sent another picture of, I believe, them out and about. Another thing is, I don't think just sending a bunch of pictures is a good idea either when you're not getting responses. That makes it seem very desperate. Just let this sit for a bit. Just let it ruminate. Let her marinate on this and get back to you when she's not busy. You don't need to keep sending these text messages, which is a lesson that I and many others have learned. You don't want to just keep texting endlessly if you're not getting responses. There's this unspoken rule, I suppose, about, double texting or the forbidden jutsu of a triple text. Of course, it's mainly a meme, but there is some real logic behind it. If you're texting with someone and they're not really responding, it's not really a good idea to just keep pressing that. Either they're not interested, which is fine, it happens, or they're busy. And in either one of these cases, sending more text messages is only going to serve to make things much more uncomfortable and worse all around. Girl, be you, that's all that I want, but I do want to see you. And then sends this creep shot of just two women at the bar they're at, two older women. And then he goes, so Cody and I are about to take these ladies home, laughing emojis. I swear to God, two old ladies about to take us home. I want to see you. You in class? This is just really weird. This is bizarre. Where is this coming from? Why are you taking a photo of just two random ladies claiming they're trying to take you home or something? Shit's getting a little loopy here, and it's still not hitting. She's still not responding because, again, she has already explained she has class. She is busy here. Now, the way he's texting makes me feel like he's drunk at the very least, because it's almost incoherent, like babbling, saying nothing. It's so many messages to say nothing. What do you mean? I hope you deem your boy necessary or whatever. What is going on? Like, this is... You shouldn't be texting right now. What you need is some Pedialyte and just rest and recuperate. So she finally responds again saying, I'm in class, I'm sorry. I don't know what the prize that needs to be paid. Just really love the time we had. Might be getting soft. And she's as confused as I am. What do you mean, lol? Me sure who I am is the price I mean. I appreciate the explanation, Yoda. Again, what? Huh? Another picture of some beverages here. We're about to move. Dude thinks he is prettier than me. What the fuck? I told me I can pull more chick than you, bro. Had me cracking up. Just move to the side and have fun, bro, is what I told him. And then sends a picture of a song that he's listening to. I don't know what's happening in the lore right now. He's treating these text messages with this girl like it's his diary. Or like he's live blogging his life right now in real time, live tweeting in these texts. It's baffling. I also think he's making it up. Like, I don't understand what this is supposed to be. You won't believe this. Guy said he could pull more chick than me? Ha! I couldn't stop laughing. It reminds me of that really shitty advice that people used to preach about, convince a woman that you're desirable by making it seem like other women are vying for your attention and time. Like, fake a phone call or something. Pardon me, madam, I'm getting a phone call. Yes, Stacy. No, the pussy appointment was canceled. We can have sex another night. I'm busy. It's boys' night. I'll call you back. Alright, goodbye. Sorry, this girl, she always wants to fuck me. But anyway, what was your name again? Like one of those things where it's like, oh wow, this guy's got so many girls are interested in this guy. I mean, maybe I should be interested too, was the line of thought. That's what those text messages scream to me, that he's just making that whole situation up right there. Because what random dude's gonna come up saying that he's prettier than him and that he can pull more chicks than him? Just a total stranger. That's not like a human interaction that would ever happen. Some dudes smell like ass. Laughing emojis. My goodness. Why are you telling her this? What is the response even supposed to be? And then he just sends like another random photo of someone playing pool. Presumably him playing pool, I guess. I don't know. He just keeps sending all these fucking photos of beer, two old ladies, him, beer, pool. Why? It's not a picture book. It's supposed to be text messages, like a conversation, but there's no conversation. Stop fucking texting. And he just says, haha. And she responds again, finally, after a bit of a drought, saying, that's nice. I mean, yeah, that sums it up. Like, what are you supposed to say to this? Just, oh, cool. Oh, interesting. Nice. And then he goes, not without you. We are at Deep Eddies. My goodness, lol. You are going to be able to come out? We will come pick you up. Am I going to be able to see you before the night over with? Like, he's going full caveman mode with a lot of these statements here. I think he has drank a lot over the course of the evening. And still, after all of these messages, nothing of value was said. It's just been weird. You've sent 30 messages to almost no response ever. So let the lesson be learned here to not just keep texting into the void. If you're not getting responses, don't force it. It's a bad idea to just keep sending text after text after text. This fool. And then she finally responds and she just gets right down to business. I don't want to be rude, but you knew I had class. I made it clear. I've been here an hour and a half and you have texted me 33 times compared to my 5 times. This was all... I bet a lot of you watching this thought that these text messages had come over the course of like a day or something. An hour and a half. Jiminy Christmas. I'm sorry, I do not want to pursue this any further. You don't understand boundaries or when someone isn't answering. Be safe. Have a good night. I think that is a very understandable, reasonable, and respectful way of just getting this across here. He clearly did not respect boundaries or respect that she was busy, so I think this makes complete sense. And he says, I won't text you anymore, nor will I ever message you again. Have a good life. My apologies, did not mean any disrespect. I hope you climb mountains. I truly like you. Glad you disrespected me now so I know. I get it. Wow. And then that emoji, I don't really know what that emoji's supposed to convey here for the emotion. Told me that you would keep me updated. We have a good life. And then some more hand emojis. I mean, it could have been worse, I suppose. Yeah, anyway, just wanted to share this. Hopefully you learned something from it. That's about it. See ya. I'm sure all of us have been lonely and desperate at some point in our lives. It helps build character. But very few of us will ever have the same level of courage as this man I'm about to show you, to step up and do something about it. He said, "Dag nabbit, I'm tired of being alone, and I'm ready for a girlfriend." So, he used his 6th grade choir experience as well as finding an acoustic royalty-free song off Facebook and then created his masterpiece, a song that dwarfs every other song that's ever come before it, and he sent it to a random girl off Twitter, hoping that she'd marry him, I guess. I don't really know. Let me go ahead and show you.
Hi. So, today on Twitter.com, a man sent me a very long DM about how he found my account and decided to write a song about me.
And they say romance is dead. Who doesn't want some greasy stranger somewhere in the world writing a song about you? I think that's beyond chivalrous. Also, this is something I've talked about briefly, but it's wild. If you're just a woman on Twitter just existing, dudes will DM you sometimes and just give you money for the sake of existing. It's called pay piggies. It's fucking crazy. It's such a wild atmosphere. But unfortunately for her, he wasn't giving her money. He was giving her, like, the opposite of money. Something that, like, drains her just having listened to it. Which is an awful song. Like this terrible ballad you're about to hear.
This man decided to continue the message by saying that he's never written a song about anyone, not even his wife, and that he had to ask his wife's permission in order to finish the song.
Sorry, just one more quick segue before getting into the song here I need to talk about. This man doesn't have a wife. There's a 0% chance of that. This man's probably never even held a woman's hand before. That was absolutely a play to make it sound like he's getting pussy and, like, you know, desirable. Like, hey, look, women love me. I even have a wife, if you can believe that. And I even had to ask her permission to write this song. So, you know, everything's all good. You know, I'm not going behind her back or anything. I'm a good guy and women like me. It's just a weird lie this guy's telling 100%.
Whoa, Lauren, you're in your own league. Watched your videos on Twitter just to hear you speak. And yeah, you do sound as cute as you look. Congrats, I suppose.
Gets worse.
She's not wrong, but there's already so much to digest in just the intro here. So this is very Hey There Delilah-esque, if that was written by a psychopath. You can also kind of just feel the desperation oozing from the lyrics here. You have to be in a pretty weird state of mind to think that this is a good idea under any circumstance, just writing a song about a stranger and then sending it to them as your first contact with that person. That's pretty wild. But let's look at the lyrics, you know. Hey there, Lauren, I watched your videos just to hear you speak. And yeah, you sound as cute as you look. Congrats, I suppose. You know, wow, I'm fucking sweating over here. Very smooth, what a silver tongue. The lyrics are inspired, to say the least, but it almost sounds insulting at the end there with the congrats, I suppose. It doesn't even rhyme with anything there. He just like threw that in as if he's like salty about it, like, yeah, congrats, I guess, you fucking harpy.
Lauren, only you know what you could do to my wife, my beautiful children, and comfortable life with a push of your will.
Move over, Johnny Cash. Hoo-wee! This one's about to bring a tear to my eye, to be honest. Let's go ahead and go over this one as well. A little pit stop again. Lauren, only you know what you could do to my wife, my beautiful children, and comfortable life with the push of your will. I wasn't exactly an English major in school, nor did I really study literature or anything, so I've got to tell you, I'm a little confused on the meaning behind these bars here. But they are fire, of course. But what is exactly the meaning behind it? Only you know what you could do to my wife. What is that, like, Does he think Lauren's gonna go over there and beat her ass or something, or replace her? I don't really get it. Like, with the push of her will, she could do something to his wife and his kids. The comfortable life I get, like, he'd leave behind his life to be with Lauren. I understand that. I see what he's trying to say there. But then also, let's go back to, like, the beginning here where he said that he needed to ask his wife's permission to write the song. I could see why. It makes a lot of sense why he'd probably want to ask his wife's permission when he's writing a song all about leaving her for a different woman and throwing behind their kids and his life for a random woman on Twitter. I could see why he'd need the okay from his wife for this, assuming she exists, which she absolutely doesn't. But I'm suspending disbelief trying to understand what this all means, because I don't really get it. I think the whole message there is, I would throw my wife in the fucking sewer and leave my kids at school, tell them I'm going to get cigarettes, if you just gave me the word, Lauren. If it was your will, I would throw everything behind. I'm ready to risk it all for you.
Hey Lauren, are we in common? Are you over-trusting? Are you analytical? Do you feel everything?
It sounds like I'm listening to the background track of a shitty commercial with that xylophone hit, the ding, that little bell that keeps sounding with the generic acoustic guitar chords behind it. It just doesn't even seem like it's supposed to be a love song. There's nothing romantic about it at all. It just sounds like a cry for help. This guy should have let me ghostwrite it for him. I'll hit you with a timeless classic to really wiggle your finger to and get you laid. Hey darling, hey, let me love you. Let me kiss your pretty lips. I'm feeling kinda hungry. Let me eat those titty chips. I'll be honest, I'm all alone. But give me your hand and let me give you a home. Yeah. That's not bad. That's a chart topper, honestly. I'm gonna fucking write that down.
And more, I guess you're like razors of steel, with grace and zeal and sex appeal, all dwarfed by your will be still be.
So anyway, I blocked him.
The nice guy loses again, god damn it. What is wrong with society when a banger like this ends up getting you blocked instead of getting you dick deep in some good high quality vagina? Blows my mind. It makes me sick, honestly. Just couldn't appreciate the fine wordplay and zeal and sex appeal. Oh. In a follow-up video, she showed the DMs here, and they're a lot worse than I expected them to be. So first of all, the amount of comma splices Alan's using here is insulting. So he begins with, "We never met and probably never will, but I had the pleasure of reading one of your articles, and as one does after reading an article, I looked up the writer, in this case you, first hit Twitter, and I had a nose around your Twitter, whatever you call it, feed page, I don't know, but anyway, I got inspired by those first 30 seconds or so because you're quite, well, impressive." God, the way he writes, I can immediately picture exactly what Alan looks like. He wrote this while taking a sip of tea with his pinky out and caressing his soul patch. "So I wrote a song inspired by you, and I've recorded a demo to bring to the studio next week, and I thought it would be a nice thing to let you know. I've never had a song written about me, neither has my wife, or at least I don't think she has, but I imagine you get that all the time." Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's totally normal. What a flex. This is going to be turned into a big song. He's going to the studio to record it. I can't wait to hear it on the radio. 98.9 delivering the hits here with, "Hey there, Lauren, I'm outside your window." He then finishes it off by saying, "My mate/business associate and emailed you pretty much the same thing, but don't know if you actually got that or if I sent it to the right address for that matter. Yeah, red wine on an empty stomach equals messy me." Jesus Christ. One thing about the song, I actually needed to get permission from my beautiful wife to actually finish writing it. Can you imagine? No. No, I can't. I actually can't imagine. You didn't need permission from your beautiful wife to write it, nor did your business partner email it to you, because you even dropped that ruse in the next sentence by saying, "I don't know if I sent it to the right address." So you immediately forgot that you just told her it wasn't you that emailed it. I digress. What a ride. So let's see how he responded to being blocked.
My man said, "Oh, blocked, K. Should have said this is a fictional thing, not to be taken literally kind of thing. Ah, well."
Listen, Lauren, you see, you misunderstood the song. It's a work of fiction, which means it's not weird. This is totally normal, and you fucked up by thinking it's supposed to be real. But if you so happen to choose, I would actually leave behind everything for you. That's not fiction. It's, just one of those things. A little too desperate, I would say. I would say this was really swinging for the fences, and it didn't work out. Which is pretty predictable. The song was trash, and the idea behind it of just writing a random song about a stranger you've never met as a way of coming on to her and flirting with her is weird. Even if fucking Harry Styles did this, it would still be a weird thing to do. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, that whole idea just doesn't really track well. So, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. If you were thinking it's a good idea to write a song for a girl you have a crush on and the girl doesn't know you exist, it's not a good idea. Let this be a lesson. That's about it. See ya. I know my calm, composed, stoic demeanor may not give you any clues or hints at my internal struggle, but trust me, right now, I'm spiraling. I'm falling down a dark path I swore I'd never walk again. Like a former addict who finds the pipe once again, I have found my long since abandoned drug. I have become hooked on reading horrible text messages from dudes trying to get laid again. It's been many moons, and some of you who have been around the channel for a while may remember I've made a lot of content covering horrible pickup artists, as well as horrible text messages with self-proclaimed nice guys who are one gentle no away from letting the demon out and just flipping the switch to a full-blown conniption. Like, the word boyfriend would be, a Winter Soldier event that would have them just go ballistic. And I've made quite a bit of content, both laughing at the absurdity of it, as well as using it as an educational tool, like, hey, don't be like these goobers. But over time, I started kind of petering out from doing that, because I just made so much of it, and I stopped indulging in that kind of content until recently. I could only fight the urge for so long. The werewolf is coming out. It's a full moon, and that moon is nothing but fucking cringe. I saw some text messages today that I've just got to go over. Now, before we embark on this journey together, it's important that I let you know that these are two college students. As we go through this, you'll probably assume that it's two 13-year-olds, but that's not the case. These are two college students that worked on a group project together, and now we're coming in after the completion of the project. So, they say, "I just emailed Professor the final draft, so we should be good." To which the poster says, "Yay," and then sends a meme, "Go team." "I really enjoyed working with you. You seem like a very sweet and smart girl, and I'd love to take you out sometime." To which they say, "That's very kind of you, but I have a boyfriend." Oh boy. She said the phrase, "I have a boyfriend." There is no phrase more powerful in the English language than that. The strongest sentence ever constructed. That's like the nuclear bomb here. "I have a boyfriend" is a phrase, nay, an incantation, more powerful than Avada Kedavra from Harry Potter. And it's just been deployed. So you can already start to speculate where things are going to go south. He responds by saying, "Heh, well, thanks for leading me on," which catches her off guard. She says, "I'm sorry, but I don't think I've done anything to imply I was interested in dating you," to which he responds, "It's just funny how you never brought up that you were taken until now." Which is an interesting thing to respond with, because that makes it seem like he expects every girl that's taken to immediately state that upon starting a conversation with a man. Like they need to wear some kind of sign or some kind of label on their forehead that says, "Currently in relationship, not available, thank you. Try again at later date." Although she does say that she mentioned her boyfriend. "Actually, I did. When I was at your house, I told you my boyfriend was picking me up." Which she's able to counter beautifully by saying, "I thought you meant a boy that you were friends with. Because why would you go over to a guy's house if you're dating someone?" And she says, "Because you offered to host and we needed somewhere to work on our project together. My boyfriend knew and didn't care because all we were doing was working. I'm sorry if I did anything to give you the wrong idea." And then he says, "You let me buy you a pizza." Now, admittedly, I understand where the guy's coming from here. We all know about the law of equivalent exchange thanks to Full Metal Alchemist, and we have something like that in the real world. If you buy a girl a pizza, she is obligated to have sex with you. It's the pussy for pizza transaction. It's as old as time itself. So the fact that he was able to buy her a pizza and he didn't get his winky stinky is shocking. But yeah, anyway, he seems to really put a lot of stock in the importance of that pizza. Like that was going to carry them all the way to marriage. Like this is a moment she'd remember for the rest of her life or something, that pizza that he bought her. But I'd like to backtrack a bit just briefly. Let's go to the previous chapter where he said, I thought you meant a boy you were friends with, because why would your boyfriend be okay with you going to a guy's house to work on a project? And I feel like that's a dogshit perspective that's not unique to just this guy in this situation. I've seen a lot right now where people work under the assumption that if your significant other is doing anything in any capacity with someone of the opposite sex, it means that they're unfaithful to you and they're cheating. But I just don't really subscribe to the belief that most normal, sane people think that way. Of course, there are extenuating circumstances to that, but in this scenario, and in most scenarios like this, where it's just she's working on a group project with a classmate, I don't know why you'd immediately jump to, she must be a whore who's going behind my back to fuck this one goofball in her class and pretending that they're working on a group project. I just don't think that's something most ordinary people jump to immediately, and in this case, the guy views it as weird that she ever even agreed to go to his house to work on this group project if she was in a relationship, but I just don't understand why that would be viewed as weird. Like, where else are they going to do it? Like, if they go to her place and do it, it's the same problem, right? Now, she has invited a guy over to her house and she's in a relationship to work on this group project. Wouldn't that be the same issue? Or if they go somewhere in public and do it, like a fucking Starbucks or whatever, it's still the same issue. Like, oh, now they went to a public place where people go, like, on dates sometimes to do this group project. So you can always make that argument no matter what. So just, I don't know, it just doesn't compute with me. But anyway, back to the pizza. I offered to split when you told me you were ordering a pizza and you said it was your treat. If you'd like, I can sell you for half of the cost. Yes, I'd like that. And you ate more of the pizza than I did, so you should pay for like 2/3 of it. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty math calculations here. Like, well, actually, listen here, Harpy. You ate more of the pie than I did, so you're gonna need to reimburse me more for it. And you know what? It wasn't my treat, because this Halloween there was only tricks. You tricked me. You lied by not telling me that you had a boyfriend. So give me extra cash for that pizza, you disgraceful harlot. She's being as gentle as possible here. I imagine she's scared of this individual, and she said as much in the comments of the post. She said that she didn't want to, like, get too aggressive back because then she'd be, like, afraid of what he might do. So it's just, like, I understand where she's coming from. You don't want to, poke and all of that. So she's just like, okay, that's fine. And I'm sorry again if you got the wrong idea, but I thought I made it clear that I viewed this as a professional relationship. Well, you didn't. And then he comes back and says, don't leave me on red. So he's getting very aggressive here. He's red in the face. He's steam coming out of the ears. Like, I understand why she wants to, like, tiptoe around this as gracefully and smoothly as possible. And it's something I've said a lot on stream, where in the current climate of things, it feels like everyone's more on edge than ever. Like, I've read so many stories over the last couple of years of people snapping at the smallest things, like even the most minor inconvenience. Like, this is a story I've referenced a lot, but it's one that actually legitimately sticks with me. There was a murder at a Subway where a man shot 2 Subway workers because they went a little heavy on the mayonnaise on his sandwich. Too much mayo was a death sentence for one of the 2 workers that was shot. The other one did survive, but I mean, it's things like that where it's never really worth pushing back. So in a case like this, I understand why she'd want to be really light about it. And I just want to mention that because I saw a lot of comments, like, not really grilling her or anything, but just really kind of wondering why she was being so polite in lieu of all of the aggression from this guy. And I totally understand why she would be. I really do get it. I just wanted to point that out real quick. But anyway, it wraps up by saying, I don't think this conversation is worth furthering, which is fair. And then he responds saying, it's ridiculous you even chose a guy to work with if you have a man. I bet he was upset even if he pretended not to be. Now, she explained this a little further in the comments. She didn't even choose him to be, like, her group project partner. Apparently the way the groups were chosen were people chose topics and whoever had similar topics worked together. So these 2 just happen to have the same topics. It's not like she went out of her way to choose this, benevolent angel to work with or anything. But anyway, I understand this was like a very short text exchange. It's only like 3 screenshots here, but I just think there's a whole lot to digest and analyze here. As we as a species have become more and more isolated, all of our socialization and human interaction comes from behind a computer screen now, mostly. almost all of our interaction with each other is through the internet. So it's leading to a lot of people not knowing how to socialize or not knowing how to pick up on like social cues, and I don't even really blame individuals for that. But it's led to situations kind of like this where this guy really views that her being off the market, having a boyfriend, should mean that she shouldn't do anything at all with another guy, even work on a class project with another man. And also, something as simple as buying a pizza shows some kind of romantic interest between the two of them, some kind of mutual romance. So when it turns out that she wasn't interested and it leads to a rejection, it's something that he doesn't know how to handle appropriately. And overall, it is just pretty sad. Yes, it is like equal parts entertaining with some cringe text messages, of course, but at the core of it, there is a problem where people aren't going out in the real world and making genuine human connections. It's all through computers. So when you are in the real world with real humans, you don't really know how to handle things super well. So something as simple as getting like a rejection is a much bigger deal than it used to be. And overall, like I said, it's just kind of sad. I wanted to just talk about these text messages because I got real deep on why. Why would this be the response to something so simple? And, of course, the text messages are very silly, like with the whole fucking pizza side quest thing. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So, yeah. I've thrown on the formal attire today because we need to discuss something very important. A huge loser named Bintellect. Big goofball, weirdo, lame-mo, behemoth creep. He is a big TikTok creator, and that's a word I'm using very loosely here, with 11 million followers, and I'm sure only people under the age of 10 have ever heard of him before. What he's become known for over the years is looking at tweets or comments, reading them out, and then going, heh, yeah. That's literally it. But sometimes it's a little hard to even muster a laugh, so what he'll do is he'll read one of the comments and then go, true. And then that's the whole TikTok. But I'm not here just to give him a little wet willy and laugh at him for all of his cringe. I am here to talk about something far more degenerate. But before doing that, I'd like to give a quick honorable mention to something else this piss stain of a person is notorious for doing. Threatening legal action against people that make fun of him. I've seen a couple videos on Bintellect now after I've been informed of the situation, so I did a little digging. Apparently when people make fun of him, he gets super offended and will either try and copyright strike, take down the video, copyright claim it to make money from it, or even go as far as to just threaten to sue the person that made fun of him. You disgusting goblin, you make me sick. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Now, while I do think a legal battle with Benjamin over me making fun of him would be hilarious, I still just don't really feel like showing you any of his clips because it's just going to rot your brain and it's yucky. It's just trash. So, no reason for that. Let's get into what I want to discuss, the new information that came out about this weirdo. So, Bintellect recently made a podcast, I suppose, and he invited someone on named Jordan Max, and then things got really odd. He got super hostile, and she ended up posting about it, which led to this dam breaking, and we were flooded with cringe about Bintellect's behavior over the years with women. So this horny little goblin asks her before going on the podcast, do you want to make a video for OnlyFans? To which she says, when? He says, today. And then she's saying, no, you need to be tested within the last 14 days and have an OnlyFans creator account. But then he says, I mean a video for your page. Oh, what a benevolent saint. He was actually just thinking about her the whole time. He thought this would be a good opportunity for her to make some OnlyFans content with the great Big Bintellect. So she says, doing what? And he goes, I don't know what performs best on your page. I can literally see him doing this. Well, I mean, I don't know what we do. I mean, what do you do on OnlyFans? Maybe we could do that? So it's become pretty clear that Bintellect uses this podcast as a way of just fucking. It seems to me like the whole podcast existence is only here as a way of trying to get Bintellect laid. So he tries to leverage his big follower count to then invite on OnlyFans models and then ask if he can make content with them. It's pretty pathetic stuff, but we're only just beginning. He continues by saying, I was just thinking you're helping me with doing a video for my YouTube, so maybe I could help you with your OnlyFans. And she replies, I'm good, thanks. So then he goes, no worries. And then, hey, I'm going to do the pickle video with someone else, thanks though. To which she asks, why? So the pickle video he's referring to is the podcast was going to be a pickle tier list mukbang or something like that. A pickle mukbang. And it was her idea. It was Jordan's idea. and he's now kicking her out because she declined to do an OnlyFans video with him. So his answer to why was, to be honest, I thought it would just be fun to film and see where things go, but I got it. So he gets real sad and pitiful, like, no, I get it. I just thought it'd be fun, but clearly it won't be fun. I'm gonna do it with someone else then, how about that? So he goes real Neanderthal mode here. My wiener no get wet, we no eat pickle together on podcast. Goodbye. How dare you not do OnlyFans video with Bintellect? So then he says he's doing it with someone else. So Jordan, of course, gets really weirded out by this exchange. She posts it on Twitter, and then Bintellect himself, the man, the myth, the legend, reaches out in DMs to threaten to sue her if she doesn't take down the post. She even did a video proving that the DM is real from the real Bintellect account, just to 100% silence any possible doubt. Also, her response to it is great. She said, I will just be waiting to hear from your lawyers then, which is hardcore. Obviously, Ben's not going to sue her. I don't think he's ever actually gone through with a lawsuit. He uses it to try and bully people to do what he wants. To do what he wants them to do, rather. So, I don't think any lawsuit was ever coming. This was just a last-ditch Hail Mary from a desperate, lonely guy to try and get rid of the evidence of him being a creep. So, that was the whole interaction between Bintellect and Jordan, but after this tweet started popping off, well, the series of tweets started popping off, she then started getting DMs with more screenshots and more evidence of Bintellect doing this to tons of different women. This comes from someone else who had a very similar experience to Jordan. So Ben opens with, do you work tomorrow? They say, crazy busy day, but I don't work. And then Ben goes, let's make some content tomorrow. Not like that, but just film a podcast. So he immediately alludes to like, oh, not OnlyFans type content. I'm talking about just a wholesome podcast, one the whole family can enjoy. Doesn't get an immediate response, so he goes, what do you think? He then waits about 2 hours more and he goes, you're killing me, gorgeous. So fucking embarrassing, Jesus Christ, that's so fucking awful to read. Yucky. And then he gives her about 3 more hours and then he goes, you know what, I've been thinking about this OnlyFans thing, and I think I could make us a lot of money, straight up. And then she finally does reply saying that she's just been busy taking a mental health day. So he can't even go more than like 3 messages without bringing up OnlyFans. It seems like the only thing on this guy's mind is sex, and how he's never getting it, I guess, but is very desperate too, and will do it by any means necessary to try and achieve coitus. From everything I can tell, Bintellect has never done any kind of OnlyFans content on his own, or like any type of explicit content. He's just a professional TikTok giggler. All he does is giggle at Twitter messages or comments, and that's it. So clearly he's not wanting to dip his toes into OnlyFans for the sake of becoming like an OnlyFans creator. He just wants to have sex with these women, and he's using his podcast as a vessel to try and do that, it seems. After she told him about the mental health day she was taking, he responds with, hey, thank you. And then the following day at 6:52 a.m., so this guy must have been up all night masturbating, because it seems like that's the only thing on this dude's mind, he sends her a message saying, do you want to come over tomorrow night? Actually, are you down to come over tonight? Or are you just a flake? Doesn't even give her time to respond, just immediately gets combative. He immediately just goes into fucking ballistic bin mode. So you coming over tonight, or are you just a flake? Huh? Are you just a fucking succubus? Huh? Is that it? Huh? So you coming over tonight? And then he waits only like an hour and 40 after that, and then he's like, you know what? Okay, Jesus Christ. Yeah, sorry, babe, but you're just too much of a flake. Bye. So then obviously she's like alarmed, like what the fuck is going on? So she says, you know, if you wouldn't have texted me so rudely calling me a flake after 1 day of not texting you, you might have stood a chance. I can see why you're single now. Goodbye. Which really just sends Ben off the rails. Yeah, whatever, go fuck yourself. Says the girl who's trying to make an OnlyFans. Good luck. Brother, all you talk about is trying to do OnlyFans content with them. It seems like you're trying desperately to get into OnlyFans but keep getting rejected and can't handle it. So how can you have the gall to try and shame them for it when you are desperately trying to do it yourself? Here's a wacky little Snapchat one. Do you want to come over here and spend some time with me? Because on a side note, I do think I could probably make us some money on OnlyFans. Bintellect fucks crazy into oblivion. That's redacted right there, like a CIA document. I really wonder what he said. I think it's Bintellect fucks crazy pussy into oblivion or something. But I'm just going off of what I can see poking out from underneath the the redaction. I think that's what it is. But this is so goofy. He's speaking about himself in the third person in this one. And then he even tries bribery. If you come over, I'll give you $1,000. I just really want you. And they respond, I'm good right now. Don't try to bribe me with money. That's weird. And then he's like, no, that is weird, but I want to see you. This one's a lot more vintage bin. So this was a different kind of relationship these two had as opposed to just the podcast OnlyFans hustle he keeps trying to run. So they start by saying, I guess it's just not meant to be. Bin says, facts, no hard feelings, but yeah, it ain't working. So then they part ways, or so it would seem. Bin has a couple of parting words here. He says, for your future self, if you're going to turn around on a guy and say, hey, I'm not down for friends with benefits shit, just say that before you go through all the bullshit. Boring as fuck. Not my problem that you turned around and quit drinking because you're an alcoholic and now pass out at 8 p.m. Fucking peace out, bitch. So Ben really, he went crazy. Ben lost it. This man, he was punching pillows, sending these texts with tears in his eyes, and he got real nasty. They respond to it saying that they're far from an alcoholic, and then Ben just keeps going crazier saying, no, you're an alcoholic, and you're full of shit. And then he's like, anyway, I'm done. I just had to say that because you're full of shit. They respond saying that they weren't interested in being with Ben, and he should have taken the hint a while ago, but then Ben he goes absolutely berserk again. She says that she's wasting people's time and that she needs to just shut up and go to bed. And then she says, it sounds like you need some anger management help, which is a very fair assessment. I think he desperately needs some assistance with this anger management. And then Ben tries to flip this shit around like, how dare you? Are you kidding me? So he goes, be careful who you say that to, Maria, because there are people who really need help with that. So Ben lets out a gasp. That's super disrespectful to say that to somebody. And also a very basic-ass bitch thing to say. Benjamin, it's a very fair thing to say here. It's not disrespectful. You legitimately need some help. It very much seems like you do. So then he goes, there's a reason you've been single for this many years, and it's because no one wants you, and no one cares about you. You're full of shit. Basic, boring loser. He just goes on, and even has this little monologue here that ends with him saying, God help any guy that you gets involved with that loose pussy because you're just lame. Mic drop ho. This guy just typed out mic drop ho. He just typed that out. He's over 30 years old. I think he's like 34 years old or something like that. I already forgot. This is a 30-something-year-old man, and he just typed out mic drop ho. To which she responds, I'm sure your TikTok fans will love the way you talk to women when I post these screenshots. And then he's like, you know what? Good luck. I stand by every single word that I just said to you. So, did he stand by every single word that he said? Let's look at his initial apology, which he deleted pretty shortly after posting it, and then also hid replies on. Let's look at his first apology. I've recently been accused of some heinous actions and would like the opportunity to share my disgust at these accusations. I'm a firm believer in the rights and equality of all humans, including women. If that's not the biggest red flag immediately, I don't know what else is. I stand by the rights for all humans, and that does include women. Those creatures. I am including them in that statement because that's the kind of angel I am. It makes it sound like he's drawing a distinction between women and every other human on the planet, like they're a totally separate species that aren't included in humanity. What an absolute incomprehensible weirdo. I grew up in a home with 3 sisters and no brothers, so I learned very early on the importance, power, love, and abilities women have. They deserve to be cherished and uplifted and treated with respect, and that's how I live my life. I do not condone the statements or accusations that have suddenly been hoisted upon me, and I hope to speak to anyone who feels they have been wronged. He's actually going with I have sisters. I can't hate women. I have sisters. No. I have 3 sisters. You guys don't understand. I could never do this to women. Like, you're misunderstanding. These are all baseless accusations. I have 3 sisters. I legitimately cannot be mean to women. And not only do I have 3 sisters, but my mother is also a woman. So you should see how ridiculous these claims are now, knowing this context with my 3 sisters and mother. So that should hopefully clear up all of the air here with these accusations. Like I mentioned, he did delete this apology post, but today he did release a new apology on TikTok. He released an apology video, so let's take a peek at that. Also, Ben, I know you're still watching. You probably plan on suing me if I show your apology video because you've employed this tactic before against other YouTubers. If they've shown clips of your content to make fun of you, you allege that it's stealing your work and you have a legal ground to take it down and come after them. You don't. That's not how that works. Me showing this is not any kind of violation in any way, shape, or form. So if you do try and sue me or copyright claim this video, copyright strike the video, anything like that, I will 100% respond with every single option at my disposal in order to follow this legal case through to its fullest conclusion. So let's check out your apology, brother.
Hey guys, there's a lot being said about me on the internet right now, and I just wanted to clear the air. The first thing I want to say is I'm sorry to anyone that I've made feel uncomfortable.
I love how nonchalant he is about this whole thing, just trying to downplay the situation. Like, if I made any of you feel a bit icky, a little uncomfy, I'm super sorry. That wasn't my intention. You must have misunderstood. It's not what I'm about. When in reality, he would snap, get aggressive, hostile, combative anytime he was denied sex.
I want to say to any girl who I've been rude to, whether through text or in person, that I'm sorry. I understand that me being sorry does not excuse that kind of behavior. I will continue to work on myself and do better. Thanks, guys.
Behold, the first AI ChatGPT written apology. This just ticked every basic box. There's really nothing of value here at all. Just like the quickest, weakest apology, and he's just gonna go forward doing his little, look at this tweet. Like nothing ever happened. So, that's kind of where everything's at. Dog shit apology, dog shit situation. This guy is a big old loser. So, let's use this as a learning opportunity for anyone watching. Don't be like Bintellect. That's really about it. See ya.